Hi everyone, this is Abhinav from Phone Bunch and today we are reviewing the Sony Xperia E1 Dual. Getting into settings, let's get into About Phone. From here you can see that it's the D2105 running Android 4.3 Jelly Bean right out of the box. You have options for software updates as well, and we expect that the Xperia E1 will be updated to Android 4.4 KitKat. If you take a look at the build of the device, you can see the two-tone design. You have a micro USB data syncing and charging port on the left. At the top, you have the 3.5mm audio jack as well as a dedicated Walkman key, about which we will talk later. It has multiple functionality. On the right, you have the volume rocker, which is quite sturdy, doesn't make any clicking sounds, has good travel as well, and you have the power lock and unlock button right there as well. At the bottom, you just have a space to get the back cover off, and you can see the design there too. Moving to the back, you have the 3.1 megapixel primary camera, you have a secondary noise cancellation microphone, Sony branding in the middle, and at the bottom you have the loudspeaker grill. As you can see, it's a very large grill. The speaker is not that big, which we will just see after I open up the back cover. The phone has a very nice matte finish throughout. We have got it in purple color, as you can see. The back cover is really solid. It doesn't flex that much, especially when it's on the phone. So there you have it, folks. That's his loudspeaker right there. It's not as big as a speaker grill, 1700 mAh battery. At the top, you have the micro SD card slot, which can take up to 32 GB of storage. The camera unit you can see right there as well. There's no flash on the phone. So let's go ahead and remove the battery. So there you have the two SIM card slots. They take in full regular size SIM cards, SIM 1 and SIM 2. And that's pretty much everything. It's powered by a 1.2 GHz dual-core Snapdragon MSM 8210 processor with Adreno 302 GPU and 512 MB of RAM, running Android 4.3. The build of the device is really excellent and it's quite light too. So these are the headphones that you get free with the Xperia E1 Dual, the MDR ZX110A. So you can see these are foldable, so they take very less amount of space. You can have them in your bag. And they sound excellent. They have excellent bass reproduction and they have excellent build quality as well, and they look really neat too. Talking about the display, it has excellent color reproduction and there are no issues with viewing angles. There's a little bit of distortion in brightness, but the colors seem absolutely perfect and spot on. In terms of network and call quality, we did not have any issues, and you can see the default dialer right here. It's really simple to use. You can hide the call log, filter call logs as well. The phone has excellent call quality and the noise reduction definitely helps. So this is the default camera interface. You have several scene modes, including anti-motion blur, backlight correction HDR, night mode, soft snap, landscape. Then you also have a high sensitivity mode, a mode for taking snapshots of your pets, food, on a beach, snow, parties, sports, several other things. Although these are rarely used. You have your EV bracket right here as well, and you can set the white balance manually if you want to do that. Then you can set the resolution of the images being taken. We have set it at the full resolution, that's 3 megapixels. You can set ISO sensitivity, image stabilization, that would be digital again. And you can also enable touch capture, which won't require the use of your shutter key. And you can use your volume key as a zoom key as well as a shutter key. So that's again a very handy thing to do. You can also switch storage between the default storage, that's your internal storage, and the SD card to save your images being taken. As I was saying, you can use your volume key as your shutter. So let me just select that. And while we are getting something to take a picture of using the volume rocker, the phone can record a maximum video resolution of 800 by 600 pixels, that's SVGA, and not 720p. We'll have a video sample too. So all you need to do is press the volume rocker and an image is taken. So it's perfect. If you're in the camera interface, the volume key behaves as your shutter key. Then you have auto scene recognition, which is the one you should generally use. In manual settings, you can override certain settings that are available to you and the HDR mode too. You can also capture a sweep panorama from right here. Now let's see some image samples that we have taken with the camera. You can see exposures are a bit blown out. Then again, right here, the color reproduction is not good at all. You can see again in macro shot, there is no focus points are defined. Same goes for here. You can't really focus on a subject without autofocus. Distant shots still look a little better. Now this is in HDR mode, so you can see that the colors really pop out, but they are a little bit oversaturated. Here again, total loss of focus. The camera is actually not that great. So this is the default headset that comes with the device. It looks exactly same as the one which came with the Xperia M. It has a single button interface to end and receive calls, but with more functionality. We'll talk about that later. And it has a silver pin. And you also get these wonderful headphones, which you have already talked about. These sound excellent and they are perfect for listening to music, even for long durations, due to their cushioned surface, and they are height adjustable as well, along with a golden pin. So perfect listening pleasure. So this is the dedicated Walkman key. It has several functions. If you long press it, it directly opens up the Walkman app, just like that. And you can also see the visualization right there at the bottom with the visualizer LED. And you can pause or play tracks by just single tapping on the button. It adds more functionality. If you double tap it, it forwards and goes to the next track. And the interface is really easy to use on the music app too. You can again see the visualization LED. It changes colors based on the album art. Now let's get into settings. There are several settings that are available. So you can enable Clear Audio Plus, which is an amalgamation of all the different settings that are available. So you can see the difference in sound, and you can manually change the settings that you want to. So you have your equalizer presets. You can customize them too. Then in settings you can enable surround sound for your headphones. So you have your studio mode, club mode and concert hall mode. It's pretty useless. Then you have clear stereo, which is again a good boost. And you can hear the change in sound if you enable front sound 3D. Then you have X Loud, which increases the volume to a much higher level. And clear phase just improves the sound quality again. So very good settings that are available, huge lot of customization in the sound. You can completely tune it to your own desire. And then you have also one more functionality. If you press the Walkman key and shake your phone, it just plays a random track. So let's do that right now. But it doesn't work most of the time. It's a bit janky. So I'll just do that. And you need to shake your phone pretty violently. So you saw there, the track is now changed. Now let's see the functionality with the added headset. So you can see that we are playing the track right now. It's being played through the headset and you have a single button interface. Now when music is playing, this button behaves just like the Walkman key. So you can play track, you can pause tracks, and if you double tap on it, you can change tracks as well. And what's more, this functionality works with any headset that has a button, at least the ones we tried. Now just listen to the music. The speakerphone is actually quite loud, but it does tend to crackle a little bit at full volume. So you can tune your own settings and make it work. Now let's talk about FM radio. So this is the default FM radio interface you see here. You can see the visualization happening, and you can switch to your loudspeaker or directly to your earphones from right there. There are several settings that are available too. Like you can force a mono sound, you can set your radio region, and you can enable or disable visualizer from right here. However, you cannot record FM. We didn't have any issues with network coverage. FM radio was available throughout the city and wherever we went. And the sound is pretty clear as well. But the headset needs to be plugged in, which is the case with most smartphones, for FM radio to work. Now we are playing a 720p video sample, and you can see it plays perfectly. There is no motion blur, there is no ghosting, and there are no frame drops as well. And we have said it several times, in terms of performance, there is actually no beating the Xperia E1 in this price segment, even with just 512 MB of RAM. Now we'll play an online video for you. This is from YouTube. It's our review of the Nokia X. Hi everyone, this is Abhinav from Phone Bench, and today we are reviewing the Nokia X. It has a 4-inch WVGA display in the front, and you have a single back button, and there is no front-facing camera. If we move to the left, there's absolutely nothing, just an expansive. Let me just tap on the screen so that it goes full screen. Audio jack. On the right, you have the volume rocker as well as the power button. So you can see that it plays perfectly fine, and we are playing in high quality mode, meaning 480p, as that's the maximum that's supported by the 4-inch WVGA display. Now let's talk about software. So you can see that this is the default launcher. We have 5 home screens at the moment. Let's get into settings. So here you see you have Xperia connectivity to connect your different devices. Here you can see your tethering and portable hotspot options. So we have USB tethering, you have Wi-Fi tethering and Bluetooth tethering. So all three are available. So no options in connectivity are missed here. The phone supports 3G networks as well. In terms of personalization, you have your wallpaper settings. You can change the wallpaper of your lock screen separately as well. So let's just change the wallpaper for the lock screen right now. And we'll have a look. Let me just lock the device. And there you go. Without altering anything else, you can change the lock screen wallpaper. Quick settings is Sony's answer to Google's quick toggles that appear in the notification bar. So you can enable or disable some of them so that they show up right there. So I've already caused the maximum. Let's disable airplane mode and auto rotate. And we'll enable roaming and auto sync. So you can see right there, both of them have appeared. So you can set these up based on your own preference. You also have a battery stamina mode. We'll talk about that in a moment. Then you have Xperia themes as well, which change the entire UI of your device. So let's say we enable heat. It will change the accent color, wallpaper, and the lock screen wallpaper as well. And you can see the visualizer LED right there. It's actually not the notification LED, as we have said earlier too. We'll show that to you in a moment. Getting back into settings, you have your dual SIM settings, call settings. Let's get into sound settings. So here you can see your clear phase as well as X loud. And well, the rest is pretty much same as any other Android device. Getting into display settings, the phone actually has an ambient light sensor. So you can set it to adapt to brightness automatically. So auto brightness is available. And then you have a notification light, as I was saying. It's actually right up top there. And the bottom one just behaves as a music visualization and comes up when themes are changed. Let's get into storage. So by default, you have about 2 GB of storage at present, out of which 1.07 GB is available. Apps are not movable to the SD card, and USB OTG is also not supported. In power management, as I said, you have the stamina mode as well as the low battery mode, which actually saves your battery life. It protects the phone when it goes into low battery mode and reduces some of the connectivity options. You can easily get more than a day's usage with the Xperia E1, even with some gameplay. Let's get into apps. So you can see from right here that about 113 MB is still free out of 512 MB of RAM, and we have been using the phone for quite a while. So that's really good. The phone behaves extremely well. It doesn't falter any time in performance. In security options, you have pattern, PIN and password apart from swipe. And you also have the Android device manager right there. So you can enable that to ring your device to find it if it has been lost. And that's pretty much a tour of all the settings. We can get into About Phone once more. You have the option for software update, as I said earlier. And the phone comes running Android 4.3 Jelly Bean right out of the box. And we do expect an Android 4.4 KitKat update for this phone, but that would be later on. So these are the home screens. We have 5 home screens at the present moment. The UI is extremely fluid, which you can see for yourself. And you can customize it, change wallpapers, add widgets from right here. Let's add Boost RAM right here. So you can see it's very simple to add widgets. It's different from stock Android definitely, but still quite easy to use. You can also add app shortcuts. All your apps are available within this small scrolling interface. Let's get into the home screen, and you can simply delete a shortcut just like that. So you can swap through all the different home screens that are available. In total, you can add up to 7 home screens. You can change wallpapers, but the wallpaper would be a scrolling wallpaper which would be applied to all the home screens. And you can change your theme, which we have already showed you how to do. The Xperia UI is actually quite usable. And even if you are coming from stock Android, it's not that different. Apart from certain customizations to the launcher, which you see right here, as well as the app drawer, which actually make Android a lot easier to use. So you can see this is the app drawer. Swiping from the left, you have several options, including sort order. You can uninstall apps, search for apps, or directly jump to the Play Store or the Sony Select Store for your apps. Not many apps come pre-installed. There is almost no bloatware. There are some Sony apps, and most of the Google apps do come pre-installed. And you can again see how fluid the UI is. And before I forget, you also have a diagnostics mode that's available within About. So you can see you can test all the different hardware of your phone, including display, the volume button, the loudspeaker, the earpiece, everything. And it gives you a consolidated report as to what is working on the phone or what is not. Now let's talk about web browsing. So we have loaded up phonemunch.com. Our mobile website has loaded on Google Chrome. And you can see there are no issues with scrolling. Now we switch to our desktop website. It will take some time to load. And well, it has loaded now. So you can see how smooth pinch to zoom is. And the scrolling is effortless as well. Pinch to zoom is perfectly fine. As I said earlier, the display too performs quite well. It has excellent viewing angles and color reproduction. And it's visible in daylight too. And you can see the text looks absolutely crisp. It has great touch response too. In terms of even general performance of everyday usage, whether it's scrolling through different menus or through the home screens or through the app drawer or through the notification bar, when you have several notifications pending, the phone performs brilliantly. App launch times are within milliseconds, and there is actually no lag in the entire interface, no matter how many apps you have opened. The camera is a bit iffy, but the build quality of the device is truly solid. You can also see the small notification LED, which is glowing right up top in red, showing that we don't have much battery remaining. The only real competition to the Sony Xperia E1 is actually the Galaxy S Duos 2, but you also have the Nokia X as well as the Zolo A510S within the same price segment. The Galaxy S Duos 2 definitely has a better camera, but in terms of performance, the Xperia E1 wins every time. So you can watch its unboxing, gaming review as well as benchmarks from right here. If you have any questions, don't forget to ask in the comment section. We will be uploading video samples and camera samples soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you and have a brilliant day.